All right, so this last week our warrants detectives traveled to New York to take into custody a scammer that's been defrauding people, it looks like, around South Florida. The case that we have here in Martin County started back in July when an elderly female in Palm City reached out to the sheriff's office and described as follows. She had been on her computer about 10:30 at night when she got one of those Microsoft pop-ups like we've talked about on the news several times. It popped up on her computer that there had been some kind of corruption into her site. She called the number on the screen and they immediately told her, look, your computer has been compromised, and oh, by the way, it looks like your bank account has been compromised. They kept her on the phone for an extended period of time and were able to convince her to go initially withdraw $10,000 and then take that $10,000 and try to convert it into Bitcoin and send it to them. Well, thankfully, she was not able to do that, but unfortunately, because the Bitcoin didn't work, she then took that $10,000 and sent the $10,000 through USPS to the scammer, Mr. Zhang. They clearly at that point had access into her computer. They could see what was in her different accounts. They noticed more money was in there, the scammer did, and instructed her to their scam was, we need to make sure all your money is safe. So as part of doing that, we need to take all your money, pull it out of the bank, and then put it into an investment account for you. So they sent her back to the bank, at which point she withdrew $30,000, and they went into a conversation about how to move that money. The scammer, Mr. Zhang, settled on coming to her house and actually picking the money up himself. So he did. He came to her house, picked up the $30,000, and left. The scam continued with them looking at a $500,000 investment account that she had, but she couldn't move the money, I guess. So the scammer asked our victim, elderly female, to do a three-way call between the scammer, the broker of the account, and our victim in order to transfer that money from the investment account over to another account, which was his account. Somewhere in that process, red flags were thrown, and that's when our victim noticed that she'd actually been taken advantage of and called us. Our detectives did a phenomenal job tracking down all the little pieces of information. Again, on these scammer cases, these individuals hide behind the computer. We rarely make good cases. It's hard to make an arrest on them, but our detectives were tenacious. They went to her house, they pulled neighbors' videos, and they were able to work that case back, and it ended up where they learned about a case in Winter Haven, Florida that was similar. So our detectives talked to their detectives, and they were able to learn that Mr. Zhang was one and the same. The same person that committed our crime here was the same person who had already been arrested for committing a crime in Winter Haven, Florida. So they were able to apply for a warrant, and Mr. Zhang has now been taken into custody and is being held on a $700,000 bond. So I'll defer to questions if you want.
So from what I read, he's part of a bigger network of
Yes.
conspiracy?
Yes, so it appears that way. Unfortunately, there's $40,000 missing in this case that has not been recovered. It was moved as cash both times, so it's not been recovered. During the initial scam, it was not just Mr. Zhang a part of it. There was also a female that presented herself as Elsa or Elsie on the phone. They were playing off each other. One was customer service, one was the finance department. So they played off each other. So we believe they're part of a more organized network that are capable of getting into your computers and then moving money around once they've gained access.
I guess we've done this hundreds of times. How do people still keep falling for these scams?
The scammers operate by instilling fear or greed or some type of dramatic emotion. And we're dealing with elderly people. These are individuals that went to work, they earn cash, they put it in real investments, they move money around. They didn't do it digitally like we do it nowadays. So when they believe that their account's been compromised, even though we put it on the news over and over and over, they get caught up in that fear. They want to make sure their investment's safe. Instead of calling a loved one, they believe they're calling the bank. So that's a, hold on a second before they fly over. So You good now?
Yeah.
They believe the numbers are valid. They believe they're calling the bank, so they think they're going through the proper process, and they have no idea how sophisticated these scammers are, how believable the scammers are.